Welcome to Youngthentic. If you're over 60 and you've noticed that your energy doesn't always feel as steady as it once did, you're not alone, and there's nothing wrong with you. Feeling tired more easily, having energy come and go, or feeling fine one moment and drained the next is a very common experience after 60. And today is not about fixing your body, pushing through fatigue, or following another strict diet. This is a gentle conversation about how to support your energy in a way that feels kind, realistic, and sustainable. We're not talking about restriction, counting calories, or trying to eat perfectly. Instead, we'll explore simple food choices that help your energy feel steadier throughout the day, without spikes, without crashes, and without pressure. You don't need to change everything. You don't need to try harder. Sometimes, steady energy comes from making gentler choices and listening more closely to what your body is already telling you. So let's take this time slowly, with curiosity, and with care. Now, before we talk about what to eat, it helps to understand why energy can feel different after 60, not because your body is failing, but because it's changing. One of the biggest changes happens with how the body handles blood sugar. Earlier in life, your body could respond quickly when you ate something sweet or starchy. Energy would rise and then settle. After 60, that response often becomes slower. So instead of feeling steady, you might feel a quick boost, followed by a sudden drop, leaving you tired, foggy, or shaky. This doesn't mean sugar is bad. It simply means your body prefers gentler, slower fuel now. Another change happens in digestion. The digestive system tends to slow down with age. That means heavier meals, or foods that are harder to break down, can take more energy than they give. Instead of feeling nourished, you may feel sluggish or weighed down after eating. This isn't about eating less. It's about eating in a way that feels easier on the body. And then there's sleep and hormones. As we get older, sleep often becomes lighter or more interrupted. Hormones that help regulate energy and appetite can shift as well. When sleep isn't deep or consistent, even good food may not feel like enough. All of these changes together can make energy feel unpredictable. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because your body is asking for a different kind of support. The good news is, you don't need extreme changes to respond to this. Often, steady energy comes from small, thoughtful choices. Foods that are easier to digest, that release energy slowly, and that work with your body instead of against it. In the next part, we'll talk about what steady energy really means and why it matters more now than ever. After understanding why energy feels different now, let's talk about what we're actually aiming for. When many people think about energy, they imagine feeling high energy, alert, busy, and constantly moving. But after 60, that kind of energy often comes with a cost. It rises quickly, and then it drops. And those drops can feel harder than the fatigue we started with. Steady energy is something different. It's not about feeling energized all the time. It's about feeling supported throughout the day. Being able to move, think, and focus without feeling drained, shaky, or overwhelmed. Steady energy doesn't shout. It feels calm. It feels reliable. And it's built on 3 simple principles. The first is gentle. Gentle energy comes from foods and habits that are easy for the body to digest and use. Nothing extreme. Nothing that asks your body to work harder than it needs to. If something feels harsh, heavy, or uncomfortable, it usually isn't gentle, even if it's popular. The second principle is steady. Steady energy comes from fuel that releases slowly rather than all at once. It helps avoid those quick boosts, followed by sudden crashes. With steady energy, you may not feel a rush, but you also don't feel the drop. And the third principle is consistent. After 60, the body responds better to regular support than to occasional effort. One balanced meal each day is more helpful than one perfect meal once in a while. Small, repeated choices create a sense of safety and predictability in the body, and when the body feels safe, energy tends to follow. In the next part, we'll look at specific foods that naturally support this kind of gentle, steady energy without pressure or restriction. Now that we've talked about what steady energy really means, let's look at the kinds of foods that naturally support it. This isn't a list of rules, and it's not about eating perfectly. Think of these as gentle building blocks, foods that work with your body to help energy feel calmer and more reliable throughout the day. We'll group them into 4 simple categories. The first group is gentle protein. Protein helps keep energy from dropping too quickly, especially between meals. After 60, the body often does better with protein that's easy to digest and not too heavy. Foods like eggs, fish, yogurt, beans, or lentils tend to feel supportive rather than draining. You don't need large portions. Even a small amount of protein, added regularly, can help energy feel steadier. If you've ever noticed feeling shaky or tired, a couple of hours after eating, adding a little gentle protein may help smooth that out. The second group is healthy fats. Healthy fats provide slow, lasting energy and help the body feel satisfied. They also support brain health, which becomes more important as we age. Foods like olive oil, avocados, nuts, and seeds release energy gradually rather than all at once. You don't need much. A drizzle of olive oil, a few nuts, or a slice of avocado can be enough to help energy last longer. These fats don't create a rush. They create steadiness. The third group is slow, natural carbohydrates. Carbohydrates aren't the enemy, but after 60, the body often prefers carbs that release energy slowly. Foods like vegetables, oats, beans, and whole fruits tend to support steady energy better than refined or sugary options. These foods give the body fuel without overwhelming it. Instead of quick spikes, they offer a more even flow of energy. Pay attention to how your body feels afterward, feeling calm and clear, is a good sign you've chosen well. And finally, we have water and minerals. Many people feel low energy simply because they're slightly dehydrated. Thirst isn't always obvious as we get older, so fatigue can show up first. Drinking water regularly or enjoying herbal teas can make a quiet but meaningful difference. Minerals from foods like leafy greens, soups, or lightly salted meals also help the body use energy more efficiently. Sometimes, the most gentle support is also the most overlooked. You don't need to eat all of these foods at once. Steady energy comes from combining them in simple, everyday ways, meal by meal, moment by moment. In the next part, we'll talk about how to bring these foods together throughout the day without planning complicated meals or changing your entire routine. Now that we've talked about the types of foods that support steady energy, let's look at how to bring them together in everyday life. This isn't about meal plans, measuring portions, or counting calories. It's about creating meals that feel balanced and kind to your body, one meal at a time. In the morning, the body often does better with something gentle and warming. Instead of starting the day with only coffee or something sweet, try adding a small amount of protein and healthy fat. This might look like eggs with vegetables, yogurt with fruit and nuts, or a warm drink paired with something nourishing. You're not trying to feel full, just supported. A steady morning start often sets the tone for energy later in the day. At midday, aim for a meal that feels grounding rather than heavy. This is a good time to include protein, vegetables, and a source of slow carbohydrates. Think of meals that leave you clear and comfortable afterward, not sleepy or weighed down. If you notice afternoon fatigue, it's often a sign that lunch was either too light or too hard to digest. In the afternoon, energy naturally begins to dip a little. This doesn't mean you need something sugary or stimulating. A small, simple snack, like fruit with a few nuts, yogurt, or a warm drink, can help smooth that transition. The goal here isn't to boost energy, but to prevent a crash. In the evening, the body usually prefers meals that are lighter and easier to digest. Simple foods, smaller portions, and gentle flavors often support both energy and sleep. Eating too late or too heavily can make the next day's energy feel harder to find. Evening meals are about nourishment, not stimulation. You don't need to eat perfectly at every meal. One balanced choice is enough. Over time, these small, consistent combinations help energy feel steadier without effort or pressure. In the next part, we'll gently talk about a few things that may be helpful to reduce, not eliminate. If you've noticed your energy rising and falling more than you'd like. As we talk about steady energy, it can also be helpful to gently notice a few things that may be taking more energy than they give. This isn't about cutting things out or telling yourself you shouldn't eat something. It's simply about paying attention to how your body responds and choosing what feels more supportive. Foods that are very sweet can feel energizing at first, but after 60, that quick lift is often followed by an equally quick drop. If you notice feeling tired, foggy, or irritable not long after eating something sweet, that's useful information, not a failure. You don't need to eliminate sweets. You might simply enjoy them in smaller amounts or pair them with protein or fat so energy feels steadier. Large, heavy meals can require a lot of energy to digest. Instead of feeling nourished, you may feel sleepy or sluggish afterward. This doesn't mean you ate too much. It may simply mean your body would feel better with lighter portions or simpler combinations. Noticing how you feel after eating is often more helpful than following any rule. Coffee and other stimulants can feel helpful in the moment, especially when energy feels low. But having them on an empty stomach can sometimes increase shakiness or lead to a later crash. If you enjoy coffee, you might try having it alongside a small amount of food and notice if that feels gentler. The goal here isn't to do less of everything. It's to do a little less of what drains you and a little more of what supports you. Your body is very good at giving feedback. When you slow down enough to listen, in the next part, we'll take a moment to pause and reflect on how your body responds when energy is supported gently, not forced. Before we finish, let's take a quiet moment together, not to analyze anything, just to notice. Notice how your body feels right now, compared to when we began. Maybe your energy feels a little steadier, maybe your breath feels a bit calmer, or maybe the change is very subtle. All of that is perfectly okay. Your body doesn't need big changes to begin feeling supported. Often, it responds best to one small, kind adjustment at a time. So instead of trying to remember everything, see if there's just one gentle change that feels doable for you this week. It might be adding a little protein in the morning, drinking water a bit more regularly, or noticing how you feel after lunch. There's no right choice here. The right choice is the one your body can say yes to. When you choose what feels supportive, consistency becomes easier, and energy follows naturally. As we come to the end of our time together, remember this: steady energy doesn't come from doing more or pushing harder. It comes from listening, choosing gently, and supporting your body in ways that feel sustainable. You don't need to change everything. One small, kind choice, repeated with care, is enough. If this conversation felt supportive for you, and you'd like more calm, thoughtful guidance on healthy aging, I'd love for you to stay close with Youngthentic. Take good care of yourself, be real, stay radiant,